Let's go over these practice problems that we completed in class after the investigation for 1-5 literal equations. We want to solve all of these equations for the variable y. And we want to do so by using inverse operations. So let's start with number 1. Right now, I'm multiplying y by 3. So to solve, I'm going to divide each term by 3. I could have just divided the entire right side by 3. But those are the same operations, right? It's kind of like eliminating a fraction. As long as you divide every term by the same number, it's the same as dividing the whole side by that number. This option is going to make it so that we're able to simplify. So y equals 6x divided by 3 is 2x. 24 divided by 3 is 8. We have solved this equation for y. For number 2, I have 1/5 y. So to get rid of that fraction, we can multiply both sides by 5, which would be the same as multiplying each term by 5. So we want to distribute the 5. So I get y equals 5 times 2x is 10x, and 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. Now I've written the steps on the left, just in case you forget how to solve for the variable y. Step 1, we want to always add or subtract the x term. So if it's positive, we'll subtract it. If it's negative, we'll add it. Step 2, we then want to multiply or divide by the number in front of y. This is also known as the coefficient. And lastly, step 3, we want to solve for y and always simplify. So for number 3, we first want to subtract the x term from both sides. And when you write out your steps, what you have over there, that is the answer. That's solved for y. So y equals either negative x plus 8, or you can express the opposite and say y equals 8 minus x. The order doesn't matter for subtraction. I personally prefer to keep x as the first term, and that will help you in a future unit. So with number 4, the first step we want to do is we want to subtract 4x from both sides. And there it is, y equals negative 4x plus 20. Again, the order doesn't matter, so you could have 20 minus 4x as well. Let's move on to 2-step. First, always add or subtract the x term. Now we have 5 times y, so we're going to divide each term by 5. Again, you could have just divided the whole side by 5, but this makes it easier to simplify. For number 6, the first step, it's negative 8x, so we want to add it to both sides. Now it's 2 times y, so the inverse operation of multiplying by 2 would be dividing each term by 2. I get y equals 4x plus 6 once we simplify. For number 7, we first want to subtract x because it's positive. Then we have negative 3 times y, so we want to divide each term by negative 3. This makes it easier to simplify. So I get y equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive. It's just x over 3. And 3 divided by negative 3 is negative 1. And the last one, positive 2x, so we have to subtract it. Negative 10 times y, so we want to divide by negative 10. So I get y equals 2 over 10. That reduces to 1/5, or just write as x over 5. Negative 600 divided by negative 10 is positive 60. That concludes our practice problems for solving these equations for y using inverse operations.